Hey gamers, and thanks for tuning in to another episode of the EXL Podcast. Check your fanboy membership passes at the door because we're here to actually discuss games and our love for them, mixed with a bit of industry news and some upcoming events. Now, it's been a while since I've had my co-host with me as he's being held hostage to the restraints of the workforce. However, the prodigal son has now returned. If you haven't already guessed it, joining me today is Worrywart.
Oh, you were talking about me there? I was sitting here thinking, who is she talking about? Well, hello, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Our other co-host today is starting to become a bit of a piece of furniture at Excel. Jay Adeloye from Drop Dead Interactive.
I'll be Jay. Hello.
Hey, how's it going? You cut off for a moment there.
We're off to a flying start. Jay is actually currently in transit at the moment. He's literally in a car, not behind the wheel, I'll have you know, but
yes.
in a car, in transit
safe.
across the world. So you'll have to bear with him if he has a little lag issue here and there.
Yeah, thanks, Bella.
No worries. So our topics for today will be the launch of Windows 10. Has it been a success or fail? Xbox making a move into the Chinese market, and all the hype leading up into Gamescom 2015. Now, a quick hello to a friend of the podcast that would have loved to have made it today but could not. Mr. Max Rampage from Cold Furnace Studios is stuck piloting a drone that is currently dropping bombs on stuff on the other side of the globe. So we hope you enjoy the show, and of course, welcome to everybody else that's taken the time to join us today. Now, before we get into it, though, Worry, why don't you tell us a little about the games that you've been engrossed in lately?
Oh, I just finished Diablo. I've been playing that like crazy. Finishing up The Witcher. There's a game called Torin on the PlayStation 4 that I played and finished. I'm playing Rocket League on the PS4. Just a whole bunch of stuff whenever I get time. Nero I finished up on the Xbox One. Just bouncing back and forth between so many different games.
Yeah, nice. And Jay, obviously, I mean, the majority of your time, apart from being a husband, a father, working full-time, and developing a game, do you actually have time to play games?
Yeah.
So that was just the short answer. Yeah.
Yeah.
He does.
Yeah, he's got time to play games.
Yes.
Okay. Let's hope his connection evens out a little bit.
Cool.
Yeah.
And I find it's very well put together. It's a very nice, polished game. And I was actually saying to myself, you know, if this was actually on a Wii U or something like that, would it have been AAA quality?
Which game is that? Which game is that?
The Badass Elephant.
Oh, the Badass Elephant one. Yeah, I haven't had a chance to play that yet.
Yeah, that just came out, right, on the Xbox One.
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah, I saw that. I haven't had a chance to play it. It would probably. It's interesting. A lot of the games that are coming out that people are relegating to, like, they're not AAA. 5-10 years ago they were AAA games. They were just. It's just the way that they're being delivered now. I think people are shoehorning them into these categories of 1A, 2A, 3A, AAA. It's games like that are AAA games. They're great titles.
I'll say if you like things like Donkey Kong. If you like Donkey Kong or things like Sonic and all those classics back in the days, that game is definitely great. It definitely feels to me a lot like Donkey Kong. So that's why I'm comparing it to the AAA type of games because it reminds me of a game that you would find on the Wii U and stuff like that. So I'll definitely say it's definitely worth a purchase. There's a demo for it, a 15-minute demo. As soon as I played 1 minute of it, I was like, I need to buy this game because it's just so fun.
I'll have to check that out.
It's colourful as well, so the kids were quite excited just watching me play it. So yeah, it's definitely one to pick up. I'd recommend.
I'll have to check that out. Have you tried Rocket League?
I have tried Rocket League. I don't have many people come over to my house, so I haven't done the whole sort of local play and stuff like that. And I haven't played online either. I sort of booted it out because I saw Rocket League on every single website I was going on to. So I thought I'd try it. I could definitely see where the fun would come into it. But I just haven't been able to give it my full attention, so I can't really say whether it's something that is, really addictive or sort of like a throwaway game or anything like that. But it definitely looks, again, well put together. So, these indies are just raising the bar, and it's quite scary how good looking the games are these days. When people try to put indie in a category that seems cheap, it's just.
Not at all. I mean, have you seen the game? I mean, they keep calling these games indie, but I mean, there's a game coming out called Submerged. Have you seen any videos of that?
Yeah, I have seen that, and I believe it's by some ex-BioWare developers. Is it BioWare?
Is it ex-BioWare? BioShock, yeah.
I mean, yeah.
And that
BioShock
game looks.
developers.
I mean, again, that would be 10 years ago that would be a AAA game, but now because it's being delivered digitally and it's a small title, quote unquote small title, people are thinking that it's something that it's not. They're definitely raising the bar for indie.
Exactly, and you still got the same talent that would make these big AAA games. So what difference does it mean if they're if it's the same? It's like if the guys from Halo suddenly make a smaller Halo, does that mean it's now a budget game? Does it mean it's not worth? Still not got that quality to it. So to me,
it's a shame the perception.
Label it indie and say
the perception is skewed.
I almost feel like I'm fighting a failing battle because you go into these forums and you say to people, "Have you given the game a chance?" and they'll say no, but it's because it's indie. So why would I? And it's like, how can you dismiss a game you've never played? It makes no sense.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of that sentiment is just because people are really young and they don't have that experience. They don't have that core knowledge of what is a game. A game isn't just something that's cost millions of dollars and lasts 6 hours and has an explosion in it. Every couple minutes. So definitely, those games are games and they should be celebrated and they should be given a fair chance.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
Speaking of indies, I've actually been playing a bit of So Many Me, which was last month's free indie on the Xbox One. It's a lot of light-hearted fun, like really light-hearted fun, which quickly turns into controller twisting frustration. It kind of reminds me of when I was playing Volga the Viking. It's just that same sort of rage that you get from it. It's really addictive.
It's kind of a trend going on, isn't it?
Yeah, you know what? You know what looks really great, but I know I'm not going to be able to play it? Cuphead. Cuphead looks phenomenal. Everyone's telling me how hard it is and how difficult it is.
Yeah, it's certainly going to test people's reflexes, that's for sure, and your ability to be able to multitask with buttons and analog sticks.
Yeah.
It has
an old school difficulty to it.
Yeah, definitely. I'm really, really looking forward to it. I mean, obviously, outside of So Many Me, I don't even need to say it, but I will say it. Obviously, I've been playing Advanced Warfare. I'm a Call of Duty girl, of course. I've been playing some COD. And Mortal Kombat X has had the latest DLC character, which is Tremor, released. So it's been a lot of fun getting my ass handed to me while I've been trying to get his moves down pat, which I can't. Don't know why, but I can't seem to get control of that character. Oh, and I revisited iDub a few times with a couple of mates, and that's always a lot of laughs. I've been playing Mirror's Edge on my PC. Now, I haven't previously played that franchise, so I've been really enjoying getting a feel for it.
Yeah, I mean, especially with the announcement of, EA is going to show a new Mirror's Edge.
Yeah. Yeah, so, absolutely.
That was definitely a really good game.
So now that we've all had a bit of a chat about what we've been playing, let's get into it. The Windows 10 launch, greatly anticipated by many and feared by some. Now, I have to admit, I was a little concerned about upgrading as I have a slightly older PC, and I wasn't entirely sure whether it was going to cope with the upgrade. But I have to say, my PC hasn't run this well in a long time. I'm extremely impressed with Windows 10 so far. Now, obviously, there's been a few bugs in the systems, but that's totally to be expected. I mean, the variety of rigs and portable devices that it's being run on is so broad that naturally it has to be rolled out before all these compatibilities can be recognized and addressed. So the experience so far that I've had with it has been basically seamless. I've tried breaking it, but I haven't been able to. And given the software that I'm running, that's quite impressive on Microsoft's part. Now, Worry, I know that you haven't had a chance to upgrade yet, but how about you, Jay? Have you upgraded to Windows 10?
I have, and I did it on the launch day. So, and I've actually been impressed with what I've had. My main concerns was, getting all my development software installed and stuff like that. I did have to reinstall quite a few things, although it kept all my personal files and stuff like that, so that was great. But I've been able to get straight back into the development. The installation was really quick and rapid. The interface is really slick. As I said, I've been playing my Xbox One via the Xbox app, and it's all just been working great for me. I'm just really impressed with what I've seen, and it can only get better from here, to be honest. So yeah, for me, it's a definite recommendation to anyone that's sort of on the fence, thinking, it will mess up the development tools and stuff like that. And I'm actually, a few of my friends, the development industry, they've all upgraded as well off sort of my recommendation and stuff like that. And even in my day job, they're currently upgrading my PC whilst I'm on holiday to Windows 10. So,
Nice.
It's all around me. So, yeah, it's definitely been a good experience.
Yeah, I think that they've done a brilliant job. I mean, if we have a look at the top requested changes that's on the Windows 10 feedback app, I would expect that if the rollout was a fail, if there was any major issues with it, that the main complaints would be about, please fix the PC crashes, or fix the bugs, or fix the incompatible software issues, etc. However, instead, the most popular upvoted requests are things like, so on your mobile phone, how you can have multiple email addresses signed in, and then you have one that is a combined mailbox, so it'll chuck like all your emails that come in there, and then you can just sort through and choose whichever one you want.
Yeah.
So they've asked for that. Like, that is the very top of the list of things that they're asking to be fixed or added to Windows 10, is having that functionality in the mailbox. The next one is people don't want to use Bing in order to be able to use Cortana. They want her integrated into different browsers. Now, I can understand why Windows have done that, because obviously Cortana and Bing, both Microsoft products, but yeah, I guess I can see why people want that in other browsers. But again, that's not an issue with Windows 10. That's just a personal customization thing. Allowing AdBlock to be used on Microsoft Edge, again, personal customization. The ability to resize Cortana's search box. The ability to customize wallpaper upon login. Really? Like, these are the things that are the top of the list of things that people are complaining about or want changed. So I would say that if that's the only thing people have to complain about with the rollout of Windows 10, huge success.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I'm stuck in an Apple/Linux ecosystem, but the benchmark of a successful launch of anything would be like adoption rate.
I'd have to agree with you. I mean, hello? Yeah, so because I've got Office, I didn't have to worry about that. But I think what the problem is that in this day and age, we're so used to customization.
You're cutting out a bit there, Jay. I think you might be hitting a black spot.
Shall we wait, or should I?
Yeah, you can continue on when Jay hits.
I was just saying, the benchmark for success would be adoption rate, and I was reading that it's already on over 60 million.
I don't think we're coming through on Jay's end. Hopefully it's not going to block out too much.
Okay. Well, it's already on over 60 million devices, and it's one download every 16 seconds. So it does seem like they have, finally they have that success that they were looking for with their OS. And most of, I haven't really found any articles covering it that are really being, super negative about it. Yeah. It seems to be It seems to be doing what it's advertised to do. The Xbox app seems to be working, really well. The streaming seems to be working pretty well. I saw maybe one or two people saying they are having problems getting it to work, but I know quite a few people who are, using it flawlessly. So it looks like that they did what they said they were going to do, and they pulled it off.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm not the kind of person who would sit on my computer and not actually be doing anything productive. But after Windows 10 finished installing, I think I was sitting there for like 2 hours just stuffing around with all the different features and setting up my apps and signing into everything and checking everything out, having a bit of a play with it, launching all of my, some of my more complex software that I have on my PC and running 2 or 3 of them simultaneously to see whether it would, crash, and it just worked perfectly. I'm really impressed.
Well, I mean, they did put a lot of work, a lot of effort, a lot of time, and most importantly, a lot of money into this OS. And
Yes.
there were a lot of complaints with 7, a lot of complaints with 8.1. They took them all in, they addressed them all, and like I said, for what I've been seeing, I haven't used it myself yet. I keep saying I'm going to get a Surface, but I really have to get one. But from what I've seen, from what I've read, they seem to have, done very well with this OS.
Yeah. Yep, thoroughly impressed. Now we might check in and just see whether Jay's connection is even back out again. Are you there, Jay?
Yeah, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you again. Take it away.
Yeah, there's lots of trees, so it keeps dipping in and out.
Damn those trees and their oxygen making. Okay.
Yeah, as I'm saying, it's the problem for me is that well, not the problem, but Microsoft's problem is their own success and giving people so much customization in all their products, from avatars to being able to change backgrounds on your Xbox One and stuff like that. So everyone comes to expect to be able to customize every single little detail in everything these days. So
yeah,
it's very good when those are your problems. Just being able to give people customization. If people are saying the products are just crashing and just failing, 100%, that's when you messed up pretty much. Hats off to Microsoft on that one. But yeah, as Murray was saying, I need to get a Surface Pro. I'm waiting for the announcement of Surface Pro 4.
Absolutely.
I don't want to buy one and then suddenly it's like, yeah, here's the new one. So I'm gonna wait. I keep on trying to get my friends on the inside to give me a hint as to whether or not it's coming or not anytime soon. But as soon as it does, that's when I'll be picking up my Surface Pro. But I may buy my wife a Surface 3 because she's already hijacked my MacBook and my iPad. So I may as well just get her one of those and get her onto the Windows family.
Wouldn't you be better off getting her a Surface Pro 4 as well? That way she doesn't hijack your Surface 4 as well.
No, because the Surface 3 is actually, since it's come off the RT stuff, it's actually quite good for its value. So you can do all the usual iPad type stuff, but you can also do things like use Office and stuff like that as well. So it's actually going to be really perfect for her.
Oh, awesome.
The Surface 3 with the i7 or the i5, and then Windows 10, I'm pretty sure that's going to be a really, really good tablet to buy now if you don't want to wait for the 4. But I'm with Jay. I know that Surface 4 is coming. I know it's going to come with Windows 10 already pre-installed. So that might be the time to jump in.
Yeah, and just streaming your Xbox onto there. I don't know what the appeal is about streaming your Xbox One to the Windows 10 devices. Like, I just don't feel I need to go into the living room anymore to play my game. I literally just boot it up on my PC. I mean, it's probably because my PC is right by my bed, so I don't even have to get out of bed to play my Xbox. Maybe that's what it is. But yeah, it just feels so awesome streaming, and because I've got a high internet usage and stuff. So for me, it's like it streams really well. I mean, I've been playing Destiny on it as well, just to test sort of like how much lag it can cope with and stuff like that, and there's the unfair advantage and stuff. But Destiny, I've been playing it, and it's run smoothly for me. And like I say, it can only get better as people use it and feedback comes through. So yeah, it's definitely great what they've given to us.
Oh, absolutely. It will just continue to evolve, and new applications and new functions and features, and it's basically just a stepping stone for us being able to, like, what we're seeing now is it's kind of opening our eyes a little bit to just how functional these things can be for us. Like, we're no longer tied to our console, but we're able to have that same console gaming experience, especially with, you know, being able to have an Xbox One controller wirelessly on your PC, and you know, streaming these things on your phone and your tablet. And we're now sort of just seeing the start of where this is going to really revolutionize the way that we play games, not only on our console but on the go, and even using our Xbox as more of a PC-based thing instead of just a console as well, sort of eliminating the need for both in the end with the introduction of the wireless keyboard and mouse that'll be coming out soon. I mean, for me, that's going to be fantastic. If I'm, you know, playing on Xbox and something huge comes up that I need to report on, instead of having to stop playing Xbox, turn that off, go turn the PC on, work on there for half an hour, and then come back and jump on the PC, on the Xbox, I can literally go to the home screen, launch Internet Explorer, or Microsoft Edge as it now would be, grab my wireless keyboard and mouse, type away, get everything done, go back to the home screen, and jump back into another multiplayer of Call of Duty. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah, I mean, that's a feature that I think that they want to push. Now, you know, I know that there are a lot of people who are saying, or who won't like that idea of, you know, it's a console, we don't want it to be a PC, but, you know, it's Microsoft, that's their ecosystem, you know, that's what they bring. So if you enjoy that ecosystem, then it's something that you'll really enjoy using.
Absolutely, and like, you can still use your console as just a console. If you just want to live in your own little box and not move outside of it, then that is fine. You can still use it for just those core features. But for everybody else who wants to actually evolve with technology, you will be able to use it for all of these other things as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's, you know, it's just a different experience. That's all, you know. I mean, I don't buy these consoles for like, I'm not going to buy 3 consoles and say, give me the same experience, or else. It just doesn't make sense, you know. I buy an Xbox to have the Xbox and the Microsoft experience, and the PlayStation and for the PlayStation experience, and the Nintendo for the Nintendo experience, and, you know, that's what I do. That's what most people do. Did I just say do?
You did just say do. We're going to move past that really quickly.
Most people do. Yes, they do.
Turn X-rated.
Turn X-rated, Jack. This is supposed to be a family show.
No. Okay, so while we're on the subject matter of 3 different consoles and their sales rates, as we know, the law not allowing the sale of consoles in China was lifted last month, meaning that Xbox, PlayStation, and Nintendo can now look at trying to get their consoles into shelves in that region. Now, the sales comparison between PlayStation 4 and Xbox One has always been pretty much one-sided due to the fact that Sony have just had their console in basically every country that they could possibly peddle it into. Now, do you think that this is another region where PlayStation will take over dominance, or do you think that Xbox actually stands a real chance at monopolizing sales over there and getting a foothold into what has primarily been a mobile gaming market?
I don't know anything about the Chinese market. I don't know what they're open to. I don't know if they have a preference for one particular style of game that, say, Sony brings versus a particular style of game that Microsoft brings. I don't know how big Windows ecosystem and, you know, all that wrapped up into one with the Xbox. I don't know how open they are to that, so it's hard for me to really give you a really good indication of what's going to happen there.
Yeah, I mean, we're looking at a country here that for the past 15 years, basically their gaming experience has been built around mobile gaming. That is the bulk of what they do, is mobile gaming. Yeah. So I don't know, like, I'm concerned that the introduction of console back into a country like that just hasn't had any need or want for it for so many years, maybe it won't be so successful. Or are we looking at a country that's been starved for console gaming for so long that it's just going to boom?
Yeah, they're either starving or they're full, and we don't know.
Well, we'll find out soon, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to be quoted on anything or be taken as to be factual about anything I'm going to say because I don't know the politics of the industry and stuff like that. But I would say that whichever console can get the more free-to-play type games over there, they might be the one that might be successful.
Yeah.
Just because little information that I've seen around and stuff, it seems that those are the biggest games over there. And yeah, so I think when we can sort of tap into that market over in China, that those would be the people that would do really well. So I think, but then at the same time, it's with Sony, what they're doing, it seems like Sony seems to be cool right now as well in terms of just what's going on with the PS4. So some people are literally buying the PS4 just because it seems like a cooler product. So that could play into things as well. But yeah, I don't really have many facts about the whole Chinese situation.
Yeah.
So yeah, I can't really comment on that to myself too much.
Yeah. I mean, year in and year out, mobile gaming that basically support microtransactions, so your free-to-plays, end up being, they gross more money every year than Xbox and PlayStation combined. It's amazing just how big that market is, and the bulk of those sales are in countries like China. So that's why I'm a little bit hesitant about whether the console, actually putting a brick back underneath your TV again, as opposed to sitting on the couch with your tablet or your phone, whether that's going to be well received or not. But I mean, as we've seen, it was only last week that the law got lifted on the console ban, and Phil Spencer's already over there. So he's enjoying China Joy right now, which is a gaming event, and I assume there's many, many meetings going on about the possibility of getting Xboxes onto those shelves as quickly as possible.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to. It's like Jay said, they're not even privy to the whole political side of like the console war and the marketing because
which is great though.
They're not exposed to it, so who knows, how they're where they're gonna go, what they're gonna be interested in. So it's almost like it's not almost like it. It really is an untapped, fresh market that you have to work for. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I'm kind of excited to see how it plays out because, like you said, they are not partial to this Sony versus Xbox console war crap. So it will be good to see how that they actually rate the product for what it is, the piece of machinery for its functionality, the actual features that you get, the games that you have available to you. It would be really interesting to see how this new market embraces that, or whether they just have no interest in it at all.
Right. They could just say, "Hey, it's great. Give me some more mobile games," like Jay said. Give me some free to play. Yeah.
Yeah.
The other thing that I would say about that though is because like in the UK we always see like advertisements for like Xbox just got Binding of Isaac. So I go to the store and then I see no Binding of Isaac. It's like, oh, okay, so you meant the States got Binding of Isaac, not Xbox.
Yeah.
So I hope that it won't be a similar situation where they make all these cool games for China and then think, oh, we don't need to bother bring it over either to the States or to Europe and stuff like that. Because me personally, I like to play any type of game. So just because it's predominantly aimed at the Chinese market doesn't mean to say no one else is going to play it.
Yeah,
I'm MOBA called Vainglory.
Yeah.
And on my phone it's cool. But I was just playing it, and I was like, "Oh, I'd love to play this on a bigger screen with better controls than touch, because I don't really like touch controls."
Right.
So that is a perfect example of something that would, for me, translate well to maybe like a mouse and keyboard, or even to a controller. That would be great. So if a game like that would do well in China and stuff, because they like their MOBAs and their free-to-plays and stuff like that, then I could definitely see it working on the console as well. And that would be something that I would want to also be brought to Europe, not just to China, because that's apparently what they're used to, kind of thing. So as long as they don't leave us out as well, yeah, I'm good for them to get new games or whatever and stuff like that.
You know what?
We talk a bit of it over here as well. Sorry,
maybe Windows 10 will help with that. If the games are in China and they're built and people like them, it might be easier to bring them over through that Windows 10 ecosystem on the Xbox One.
Yeah, no, that's definitely true. So yeah, especially if it's built on the whole universal app platform.
Exactly, right.
Or I mean, people are speculating this whole streaming from PC to Xbox and stuff like that. So again, that could be even a possibility that way as well. So, but yeah, I just don't like being left out when it comes to certain games and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because I think it sort of breaks up a lot of the circles. Because I tend to play online with mostly Americans. I don't know what it is, but I seem to love you guys. I know Australians as well, fella. But yeah, so whenever they start playing a game that's like, oh yeah, it's not out in Europe, I feel like that's a bit unfair, and you're just breaking up social circles and stuff like that. So
yeah,
I hope we can see less of that.
Yeah, it's much better to be all inclusive than it is to be sort of broken up into groups and.
Absolutely. Like when I saw Nero for the first time, I was captivated by the possibility of that game. And I was so excited for the lead up of the release to only learn that it isn't being released in the Australian digital marketplace. Why? It's a digital game. It's digital. Yeah. It's not like you have to ship it to me. It's digital.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a really good game.
Yeah, I would know.
I can tell you, Bella, that getting the game rated in Australia can be a bit tricky.
Yeah, well, our rating system here isn't exactly developer-friendly, for lack of a better way of putting it. So, unfortunately, it's getting a little bit better. They are easing up, but just not quickly enough. So, well, now that we're talking about new games, Gamescom 2015. As we know, Sony have opted not to conduct a press conference at Gamescom this year, which leaves the floor basically open for Xbox to capitalize on. Microsoft will be taking the stage on August 4th at 4 p.m. CST, I believe. And they've already announced that there will be a lot of news, if not footage of games such as Crackdown, Scalebound, Phantom Dust, and several others. We know the lineup will be massive. We know gamers everywhere are counting down the days. I'm especially looking forward to the Pro to Halo tournament that they're going to be holding. So what about you guys? What are you most keenest about? What is getting you excited for Gamescom 2015?
Jay, you want to go?
Yeah, Gamescom. I mean, I'll be honest, I was hoping to see more Recore, because that game just stood up to me at E3, and it just looks. But other than that, I think after being European and all, I have to go with Quantum Break.
Yeah,
that game,
I thought you might.
It looks stunning. Remedy, I'm a big fan of theirs. Had the Alan Wake series, the Max Payne, so that brings back some memories and stuff like that. And if it's going to be a blend of those two games, then it can only be great, in my opinion. I'm hoping that Rare's going to unleash a nice surprise for us. There's been a couple of rumors and stuff like that. So I'm hoping that they're going to do something, because I know they're not showing Sea of Thieves there.
Well, which is disappointing. I really want to see more of that. That looks stunning.
Yeah, I mean, you can't show us a game and then sort of leave us hanging like that. But Microsoft are still toting the whole greatest lineup in history. So I think they're going to have a few sucker punches, and it's needed because in Europe, Sony seems to be dominating. Not as much as the whole 90% that was quoted, because in UK it's definitely not like that. I've got both, and a few people a lot of people I know got an Xbox One, but we do definitely need some European love in terms of the Xbox, and again it's to do with this whole leaving us out on games, bringing them out in the States and then not bringing them over here. People feel that we're not getting the same good treatment and stuff like that. And we need to break down these barriers of games feeling like it's an American game, it's a Japanese game, and all that stuff. It's just games. So hopefully, Phil Spencer saying that he's putting in the work for the Europeans and stuff. So hopefully Quantum Break's going to do that. There's going to be some nice surprises. Crackdown 1 for me was okay, but it didn't have a big hold on me like it did with a lot of people. So I'm hoping that this new Crackdown possibly could do that. I must admit I was a big shooter fan back in the days. So Call of Duty, Halo, Rainbow Six, all those kind of games. Those were the ones that really had a hold on me. So hopefully, we're going to see some nice surprises at Gamescom. And other than that, I'm just a bit sad I'm going to be missing the party.
Yeah.
For me, my most anticipated new IP for Microsoft is Quantum Break because, again, Remedy, everything that Remedy's done, I've loved, and I want Microsoft or Rare, anybody, to surprise me with a character-driven platformer game, a la Jak and Daxter or Ratchet and Clank, something platformer-driven, hopefully from Rare, on the Xbox. Their own platformer. Platformers don't seem to sell that much anymore. I love them, and I just want to see a really well done 3D platformer on the Xbox.
Yeah, fair enough.
No, I agree.
I've been waiting since E3 2014 to see more of Scalebound, so I'm really keen to see that. Like, unfortunately, the lead developer for Scalebound has a Twitter addiction, which is very, very unhealthy. I'm not quite sure if either of you are familiar with some of his tweets, but he is a very interesting individual. But that doesn't take away from the fact that I think the game is going to be absolutely mesmerizing. I mean, there was enough information leaked that if you pieced it all together, it pretty much told you unequivocally that there will be multiplayer. So I can't wait to see more. I mean, dragons and swords, and I'm there. Take my money. I can't wait.
I don't know. The idea of Scalebound sounds great, but I mean, I listen to these podcasts and I feel like it's been so overhyped with little knowledge that it's kind of put me off the idea because I'm just like, I don't want it to be a disappointment now. So I'd rather go in with low expectations and be blown away. Because everyone's just like, oh, Scalebound, look, dragons, and it's just like, yeah, but what is the game? What is it? Is it a Bloodborne type game?
Yeah.
Is it a I don't know. Is it Dragon Dogma or whatever? I don't know what type of game it is. They need more information, and this is the kind of things that I don't really like. Like I was speaking to one person, and they said, with Gear Gauntlet, I've given so much information about the game. Am I not afraid? People won't want it, and I'm just like, well, I want people to know what I'm making and selling them, so they can't say I've lied or I've tricked them in any sort of way, and that's how I feel all games should be. You should be given the information about the game so you can make a clear judgment call as to whether or not you want to buy it, not buying it out of lack of knowledge type thing. So,
right. I mean, you could talk about a game, you could tell people everything about your game, but you can't talk and experience. So you still have to buy the game and experience it.
Yeah, exactly. So hiding the facts just kind of makes it seem a bit shady, if anything. But yeah, I mean, for me, I just don't know enough about Scalebound, so I've put my expectation levels low. But it would be amazing if it came out and blew us away. Because if it's anything like Dragon's Dogma, the online one, that would be amazing because that's only coming to PlayStation. Yeah. And I mean, I'm not a PlayStation, so I'll be getting that anyway. But if we had an Xbox version of that, again, that would be great because there's just people in the Xbox community that I like to play with, and those are the type of games that I would love to play with them because it's all party based, killing these big sort of enemies and stuff like that, teamwork and things like that. Especially like Final Fantasy 14 online. I do not know why that did not come to the Xbox One because that is an amazing game. Upon a PC, and I was just like, so many people I know would have loved this and it would have been amazing to have played on the Xbox. So if we can get anything to that sort of experience, then I'd really love it if that was Scalebound. But for now, I don't know what it is. So it might even be a platform, but I don't know. That's how much information I have about it. So
Yeah.
I'll be watching it on Gamescom, with eager eyes, just so I can find out exactly what it is.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. The only reason I didn't say Scalebound is because, again, I haven't seen anything. And I keep seeing people saying, oh, it's going to be great, it's going to be great, it's going to be great, but nobody's seen it. So it's really hard to say it's going to be, better than this game or better than that game when I haven't seen it. I have no idea what it is other than there's dragons in it and there's a guy with a sword. Now, I know Platinum's pedigree is very, very good. So you could apply that to it and say that, hopefully it's going to be of the same quality as their other titles, but I need to see it. I know what Quantum Break is. I've seen it. I know what Crackdown basically is, even though I haven't seen it. We all know what Crackdown gameplay is like.
Yeah.
But Scalebound is the one, question mark for Gamescom.
Absolutely. And that's why I'm excited to see more about it. I mean, I know everybody is concerned about games being too hyped and so forth, but I'm still really excited to see more about it. That's
absolutely. Yeah.
One moment where if I don't get to the end of the Scalebound presentation and my drawer doesn't need to be picked up off the coffee table, that's when I will be disappointed.
Right. Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, go ahead.
Sorry, what type of game do you think it is?
Oh, I think it's probably going to be quite open world. I mean, I'm just guessing from the different pieces of information that have been given to us, but I mean, without having another game that is, I guess, close enough to compare it to, I'm kind of thinking Elder Scrolls Online sort of open world feel, look, vibe.
You think it's going to be
interesting.
You think it's going to be online only? There won't be any single player component to it?
No, I think that there will be single player. I think there will be. I think that there's going to be more of a focus on this this multiplayer sort of open world. You can go off and do missions together, or you can explore the land kind of thing.
Okay.
I could be completely wrong, and most likely I am. But yeah, that's just from what I've seen and the little bits and pieces that have been leaked here, and not that you can really.
I'll tell you what. If Scalebound does not have split screen co-op, then that's over.
Who's going to split screen with your cat?
No, it's a nod to the Halo 5 fiasco.
Yeah, that was just blown out of proportion.
Yeah, that's craziness. Crazy.
I don't know. It might be because I moved out of my hometown and I moved to a new city and stuff like that. So I don't really have many friends that come to visit me and stuff like that. So maybe that's why I see it differently.
Yeah.
As to, I'd rather you enhance the gameplay, the graphic fidelity, and do this new stuff with the AI and the team-based work stuff and things like that. I'd rather put more energy into that than split screen, because for me, I would never use it. And to be fair, I haven't used split screen since GoldenEye. So,
Yeah.
For me, so when people are saying, I think it was Polygon or someone like that said it was the biggest mistake they've made or something to that effect. I thought, wow, you're kind of blowing it out of proportion. The game looked great. So, just because I got co-op doesn't mean the game's going to flop. Like, people do play online. That's why we've got Xbox Live and stuff like that. So
yeah, I mean, there's most of the shooters now don't have split screen. I mean, Destiny's very successful and there's no split screen co-op.
Exactly. So is it just another jab against Microsoft? I don't know, but it just seemed a bit weird as to why they made a big deal out of it. And like I say, Call of Duty doesn't have it, or maybe it does. I don't know. I think I do not see these options because I don't look for them.
Yeah, I think maybe what it was is that, like, Halo's always had that. Halo 1, 2, it was sort of built, especially Halo 1, it was sort of built around couch co-op, but that was before Xbox Live, and the whole idea of the couch co-op was sort of the idea for Xbox Live, to take that fun that you had with the person sitting next to you and spread it out to the world. That's where Xbox Live came in. So I think maybe that could be what it is. But I'm with you. I haven't used split screen since, I mean, almost like you say, GoldenEye. I just haven't used it. I think the last game that I played split screen sitting next to somebody was Twisted Metal Black on the PS2. So
yeah, I mean, it's similar to what I was saying about the Windows customization. You give these features, and people will love it, so they expect it to be in every single thing you do. But sometimes, to enhance other areas, you just got to remove these features that are considered, not as important. So,
yeah.
Yeah,
it was kind of like what 343 went through with Halo 4. Before Halo 4 came out, people were saying, they want everything different, but don't change anything. It has to feel just like Halo, but make sure it's different. We want it to be like Halo, but different. How could you possibly fulfill that request?
It's just a case of gamers complaining about something for the sake of complaining about something. It's like we were talking about with Windows 10 earlier, There were no major issues with the rollout. Yeah, there was a little bug here, some customization not available there, but as far as the entity went as a whole, major success. This business with the split screen is yet again another example of that exact same thing. Looking at a game that is going to be epic, that looks fantastic, that has everything that we want in it, plus it's different. Like Rory was just explaining, keep everything the same, but don't change anything, just make it new. They've somehow managed to do that, and it's going to be fantastic. We all know it's going to be great. So what have they got to complain about? Oh, well, there's no split screen.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm sure that there's a small percentage of people that really wanted it and that really use it. Like if you have, if you're playing with your kids or something like that, but, things change, and developers make decisions, and it's their product, it's their baby, so they have a right to do what they want to make it. They have a vision, and they have a right to, fulfill that vision, and you either accept it or you don't.
You know why lack of split screen doesn't bother me?
Why?
Because hands off my Xbox, that's why. It's my Xbox, I'm playing it, go get your own. Oh dear. All right, so before we wrap up, are there any games that you guys are anticipating over the next couple of weeks that you can't wait to get your hands on? I know mine's Submerged.
Yeah, that's mine, Submerged.
Yeah. Are you going to get that, Jay?
Yeah, that looks quite interesting, Submerged. Yeah, can you hear me?
Yep.
Hello? Yeah, I was saying Submerged.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the next title that's to stand out for me.
Yeah, it's actually made by an Australian development company, in case you didn't know.
What do you think about this Resident Evil 2 remake news?
How many remakes is that of Resident Evil 2 now? Is that like 9 or 8?
They're supposed to be thinking about it. Yeah. I don't know.
And do 2 more and you get a free set of steak knives with every purchase.
Yeah. Another remake.
Another game I'm looking forward to is Until Dawn.
Yes.
Yeah.
I really like. I loved Heavy Rain.
Yes. And Beyond Two Souls.
I never actually played Beyond Two Souls, so I might get the remake of that, the remaster. But
yeah, I know a lot of people didn't like it, but I loved it. I loved that game.
Yeah, but Heavy Rain just stood out to me a lot, and I'm hoping that Until Dawn. I mean, people said it's cheesy, sort of hacking storyline, but I like those kind of things.
Yeah,
I like horror films and stuff like that.
Yeah, you can't go by what people are saying now. I mean, people say, "Oh, I don't like that game. All you do is walk in the game." Like Journey, oh, I don't like that game. All you do is walking through sand. Well, there's much more to the game than that, especially Until Dawn. There's much more to it than just, it's a narrative-driven, story-driven game. It's almost like a choose-your-own-adventure style book, if you ever read those back in the early 80s. You know what I mean? So those kind of games are really, really fun. They're really engaging. It's just a different type of game for a different type of gamer.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, a lot of people, when I told them that Life is Strange was a really good game,
Oh, yeah.
I said I went as far as to say it was better than the Telltale games because it had that whole time rewind and stuff like that element to it, and for me, it just added a bit more on top. So for me, yeah, it was slightly a bit better than the Telltale games. Although I haven't played the Borderlands version of Telltale. So apparently that's looking really good. So I don't know how it compares to that. But for me, when I was saying Life is Strange, great, but it's point and click, blah blah blah, indie game, blah blah blah, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah, I mean, the same people who are saying they're not going to play Until Dawn are the people that are praising The Wolf Among Us. So, I mean,
Yeah, exactly.
it just doesn't make any sense. We're not in a generation of making sense.
Yeah, no, I totally agree.
Yeah, well, what's our free indie on Xbox One this month? Is How to Survive?
How to Survive.
Yeah, I think it's How to Survive.
How to survive a storm. Something.
That's it. It actually looks really good, and I've heard a lot of really good feedback from people who've already played it on the PC. So sort of getting towards the end of the 2-week mark, I'm looking forward to that. And then outside of that, obviously, getting to the 3.5-week mark, Gears of War Ultimate Edition, yeah. Can't wait. Oh my God, the wait's been killing me. But we're nearly there.
Yeah. But there's a certain part that if you pause the game and look at the ground, the textures don't look as good as the original version or something like that. Did you see all that nonsense?
Yeah.
And then it's 30 frames per second.
I expect that because we do have what I like to lovingly refer to as a lot of numpties in the gaming community, and it's those numpties that like to go around and find these trivial pieces of extraordinarily important information to share with the whole gaming community like it should be a piece of the gospel as far as what we should expect from games and their development. So yes, thank you to all the numpties who have spent their time scrolling through all the videos to find these very important pieces of information for us. Good use of your time.
Yeah, I didn't even, I know that I think the single player is 30 frames a second, right? 1080p 30 or something like that. And some people were complaining that it should be 60 or something like that. I don't know.
Which game is this? Sorry, it cut out when you started talking about
Gears.
Yeah, Gears Ultimate Edition.
Gears Ultimate Edition.
Oh, I thought it was all 60 frames.
No.
No, the
just
campaign,
the multiplayer.
I believe, is, campaign's 30, multiplayer is 60.
Okay.
It doesn't matter. Like, it's irrelevant, so I don't care. The whole lot could be 30. It wouldn't faze me. It still looks stunning. It's still going to be a lot of fun.
I played via beta, and as soon as I started playing, I was like, oh my God, memories are coming back.
Yeah.
And, within like 2 sessions, I was back to my, chainsawing people and using that shotgun and taking them apart, and, it was well put. And, it's just an amazing experience. And, the fact that they've taken time to build it ground up with new textures and stuff like that just shows, the effort they're putting into it. So for people to come and say stuff like, oh, it's not done well, and look at this texture here is a bit weird looking or whatever. It's just like wild. As a developer, these things can happen. You put your 100% effort into something, and then you find there's an area where you just might have happened to miss it, or it just didn't come out the way you wanted to. And it's not like you're doing things maliciously, or and that's what, again, why some people don't like to show things off early, because people take it as the final product.
Yeah.
So, if people are going to act like this, all you're going to get is, developers not talking about their game, then they just release it and then you've got no information, like what we got with Scalebound. So people just need to relax a bit and remember that this is all about having fun, not being an investigator trying to find little stupid things to, come to your website.
Yeah, most of the investigators are people who have no intention of actually ever buying the thing they're investigating anyway.
Exactly.
So you have to just take all that with a grain of salt and move on. Yeah, you just have to try and tune it out. It's a shame.
Yeah, the only side of that argument that I can see any plausibility to is, for example, if you're playing an extremely immersive single-player game, and it's beautiful, it's seamless, it's playing really well, and you with games like that, you actually lose yourself into those games. And let's face it, those are some of the games that we have some of the fondest memories of, the ones where you forgot that you were gaming. You were just completely immersed in this world that had been created for you. And then something like a tree that the base of wasn't actually blended into the ground properly. It actually has squares, and you like, oh, this looks like Minecraft. It snaps you out of that immersive feeling all of a sudden. For a split second, you're like, oh, that's right, I realize I'm back in the game, and now I'm looking at the texture of the tree. And so most of us grown adults move on and don't care about them. We're just like, oh, okay, no worries, not a problem, and we keep playing. But then there's, you know, this other element that are like, well, this just ruined my life. I don't know how I'm ever going to play another video game. This tree looks like Minecraft. Yeah, it's I've never really been able to grasp that kind of mentality, but I guess I can sort of see their line of thinking, just not the way they go about it.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. People just got too much time on their hands.
Yeah. Yeah, well, most us gamers do. Well, not most, I shouldn't say most. I don't know most. I only know some. But, yeah, I certainly don't have too much time on my hands. And on that note, we are crouching towards the 1 hour mark. So unless there's anything else that you gentlemen would like to add, or if there's an update about Gears Gauntlet that you'd like to give us, Jay, we might look at wrapping up.
Oh, man. Yeah, I'm just working as best as I can to make the game, you know, stable in terms of its functionality within your Xbox One. The game itself is done. It's just trying to get through certification at the moment. So bear with me. You know, it is the first time I'm, you know, releasing a game of this magnitude, and I want it to be perfect because I don't want to be, you know, plastered all over the internet as, you know, indie dev destroys my Xbox.
Guy with the Minecraft game.
You know, I don't want to release any dirty bugs to anyone, so please bear with us. You know, we put a lot of effort into this game, and you know, I just can't wait to get it into people's hands so I can see how many deaths rack up on the leaderboards and stuff like that.
Great.
But yeah, it's coming, guys. It's coming.
Awesome. Well, I know Worry and I are both looking forward to having a go at it on the Xbox.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, thank you very much for joining us, gentlemen. It's been great having you both here. Jay will be back with us in a couple of weeks, and hopefully, if Worry is free, he will be also for round 2 of the Developer Workshop podcast in September. I'm not giving anything away, but in September for that monthly event of the Developers Workshop podcast, I'll give you a little hint now. We have huge things installed for you. It's going to be massive. So bookmark the 15th of September because it's going to be huge. But until next fortnight when we return, thank you everybody for tuning in, and we'll see you then.